Hello, welcome to my news story. This week in class, I learned all about the advances in technology during the Civil War, and I made connections with how it relates and advanced journalism and changed how it is today. First, we talked about the railroad. Yes, it was not invented during the Civil War, but they did lay down thousands of tracks in the South and in the North. This made it possible for journalists to travel and cover more stories, which brings in more publicity and more money. They advanced the railroad for the purpose of transporting goods for the war effort. This was a helpful advance overall, even though they hit a lot of bumps in the road while building it. Next, we talked about the telegraph. The telegraph is an old school messaging system. I'm very glad we don't have this anymore. This was mainly used by commanders to communicate their strategies and operations for the war. The president at the time, Abraham Lincoln, did use it. He had to write in code so that the Confederate Army was not able to translate his message. For journalism, this was a big thing because they could communicate to other big companies and make more international news, which brought in more money and more publicity, as everything did. Next, we talked about the rotary press, which was a huge advancement for journalism. Back then, they had to use wooden presses manually to be able to create news, which, as you guys could tell, it took a long time. So with the rotary press, they were able to create 8,000 pages an hour. And journalists, they do a lot of printing to be able to create news, and that's really important to their business. So this was a huge advancement for them. It made it a lot more efficient, and the rotary press also made higher quality paper. Lastly, we talked about the camera. Obviously, the camera is a huge thing for journalism. All of us would rather look at pictures than read words, I'm sure. If not, I don't know what to tell you, but it was a huge thing. We were able to put real-time pictures into our news, which made it a lot more appealing to the public, which brought in more money, more publicity, and just was a huge advancement overall.